Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons and Dummies, a weekly podcast following four friends as they battle across a homebrewed world called Antiriath in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Step into our mystical world called Antiriath and follow our party of three dummies as they adventure across the lands. Talik Grug, half-orc, half-mystery, the fighter, played by Taylor. Body Knot Greenleaf, the halfling rogue with a penchant for taking things that don't belong to him, played by Josh. And the ever-mysterious Eclarian Shadow, half-elf ranger from the Eclarian Mountains, played by Seth. And last but not least, the creator of our beautiful world, the man of many voices, and our dungeon master, Sam. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Last week was the finale of Book 1. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. This week is kind of an epilogue. We're wrapping up the story of Book 1 into a nice, pretty package before we get started on Book 2 in a couple of weeks. Next week, on May 30th, we have a very special one-shot event releasing with two guests from another D&D podcast that's one of my personal favorites called Death by 1,000 Crits. So that comes out on May 30th at the same time as our normal podcast release, so stay tuned. We are very, very excited to share that with you. We had an absolute blast recording it. And if you haven't, please follow us on Instagram for those sorts of updates and tons of other stuff, including screenshots from the game that you're listening to, which I think will really help, pictures of our map, things like that. So check us out. It's at DNDN Dummies. And if you haven't yet, if you're enjoying the show, please give us a rating and a review on your podcast app. Thank you.
Well, one of our listeners had an interesting story today. We'll call him Joey. He was listening to episode 17. And he was in the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, and he had his windows down.
Okay.
He wasn't paying a lot of attention, but he was listening to it pretty loud because he'd been driving down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he pulls up right as we're freeing the fire goats from the runaway carriage.
Yeah.
And there's a comment made about we could have kept the goats and milked them. And then Talik says something along the lines of, you can milk anything with nipples. And then Shadow says something along the lines of, well, I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Yeah.
And Joey said there was people all around him with their windows rolled down and like walking around and stuff. And he just rolled his windows up real quick. It was so embarrassed because people were like, what?
I can just see it now. He just slinks into his chair and pulls the little knobs. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like that GIF with the
Well,
dude.
that's for PSA, folks. Do not listen to this podcast in public.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta wear your AirPods.
Wear your AirPods.
Sponsor us, Apple.
God. Yeah. This is actually our mom asked the other day, and she said something about it, and she's like, "Well, I want to listen," and we were like, "No." Absolutely not.
Oh, I gotta tell y'all something so funny. So I told my mom when she was here last to visit, and she said, when I talked to her recently, she said, I've listened to y'all's podcast a little bit. And she said, it's good, it's funny. She said, y'all's voices are very good. And she said, you say fuck too much, but other than that, it's really good.
You say fuck too much, but other than that, it's really good.
I was like, oh, that's what makes it good. Fair
She
point.
just
Laughed.
Oh my god. Yeah. Your mom, like, she's okay with media stuff.
Right.
My mom, like, won't freaking watch Ocean's 11 because it's too violent.
Right.
Oh man, that's good shit.
It was pretty funny. I was cracking up.
That's
You say fuck too much, but it's good.
I think I grabbed her phone and subscribed and rated it when she was here.
Huh?
And so
Nice.
she was like, I got your podcast on my phone. I said, yeah, I know, I did it.
She's like, I listened to it. You're like, oh, uh-oh.
She said, it's good. Yeah.
All right, Jimmy McJugles.
Whoa.
I don't think you can say that on TV.
Oh. That's worse than fuck.
Yeah. On TV. We're on Mom on TV.
I'm on your picture shows, Ma.
Jesus. I wonder if anybody gets our references.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
old shits out there that get our references.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so do we want to do a recap?
I was eating pizza. I don't know where my notebook is.
No.
Well, also,
pizza.
you said last time we were playing that you didn't write down much from the fight, so I can do a recap while you pizza yourself. So last we played, we started after the copper or the adamantine bulls
Adamantine.
and the armadillos that y'all had to put in the teleporter.
Yes, that was fun. That was
the
great.
the telepordillos. Then y'all took a little short rest. Y'all were mostly out. Talik was pretty much out of hit dice. I was listening back to the episode beforehand, and y'all had to take short rest after the man-eating plants fight and after the
Displacer Beast
fight. So that's why you were going in. So y'all took a short rest, but you were still sitting low going into the final fight with the druid. But before you got to the druid, you stopped in the Old Moon's Tower's lab on the top floor and spoke with someone named Zaius, who through a device. I don't know if y'all did any checks on that, but the device was called a displaner, and spoke to his hologram, essentially a projection of him standing before you. And after chatting with him for a minute, you noticed that he actually had the Sphere of Evolution with him, and you finished chatting with him, found some cool loot, found quite a bit of stuff in the lab, kind of looted the lab, and then solved a puzzle involving some levers and some gems, and found yourself on the roof. And what commenced after that was a harrowing battle with the druid. He did have a little bit of backup in the form of the squirrel, but he didn't last long. So yeah, y'all, it was quite a fight. I believe Talik ended with 1 HP and Body Knock ended with 2.
Yeah, I think so. No, vice versa.
Vice versa?
Mm-hmm.
No, I had 2.
2.
Oh, we
yeah.
both had 2.
Yeah, so, whew, I mean, and there were, like, y'all even healed a couple of times, and, like, healed up and went right back down to low single digits.
Yeah.
So, it was close. But y'all managed to end the druid despite his massive health pools. We were talking a little bit at the end of the fight about, you know, like, how big his health pool was. And I had mentioned
well, he got multiple health pools when he went into his wild shape. Which
that's what I was gonna say. Is I had mentioned that he healed himself at one point with like a I think it was a 3rd level cure wounds.
Yeah, 3rd.
And so that made his health pool even bigger. But then also, yeah, I mean, tons of extra health from the wild shapes that he had. I think the eagle was in the 6 or in the 20s. And the grizzly bear was in like the 60s of HP. So I mean, y'all dished out a massive amount of damage to bring this guy down.
400.
No, he was just over 100 his own self plus heals. It was probably like in the 200 range.
200 something.
Yeah, 200 something. Lots and lots of damage. But y'all carved through him. This high damage party was able to put him to rest. And then y'all rappelled down the outside of the tower, and I don't remember who made their perception check, but noticed that you don't want to touch this wall because it is covered in nearly invisible glyphs of warding that if you touch them, you're pretty sure would have some sort of nasty spell tied to them. And you rappel all the way down to the bottom. And one thing that I did not narrate, so we're going to pick up right here, was when you get down to those last 30 feet or so where it's covered in vines, and you rest upon, there's these, 4 little ramps of extra roof that come out of the bottom 30 feet of this thing. And when you get down to one of those in your ropes, the vines start moving like a undulating wave and kind of wave you off of this thing and hurry you down it and plop, plop, flop you down onto the ground.
Do we have all of the stuff? Like, did we take the time to grab all of the stuff that we picked up through the tower, like from the lab and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I assume.
Yeah, it's in the bag of holding.
Y'all were packing everything into the bag of holding as we went through. I think you'll have pretty much all that stuff in D&D Beyond. I did go ahead and create the Druid's Ring from last time. It's called the Ring of Druidcraft in D&D Beyond, the one that lets you speak with animals.
We did not put it in our... We did not put a lot of things in our inventory. Potion of Vitality, I don't think that's in anyone's inventory. Did the Illusory Dragon spell scroll get put in an inventory?
It's in my inventory, but it's not descriptive, so I need to make a paper note. It's the Illusory Dragon.
Yeah, you should be able to click it in D&D Beyond and maybe edit it.
Okay.
Something like that.
And then the Circlet of Blasting, I don't know where that wound up.
Oh, I thought you were wearing the Circle of Blasting.
You or Body Knock got that.
So I believe last time we were doing the math on the date, and it is like midday on the 10th of Harvest. So you guys wanted to take a long rest out here, I believe was the plan.
I want to take a long rest somewhere because I got 2 HP. Do we see a nice serene place we can pop our bedrolls and tents?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty beautiful here. There's the river just to the northeast, and then the spring that's pooling into a little pond just to the southeast.
Yeah, let's pop up by this spring here and do a little long rest. Even though it's daytime, maybe we fart around.
Yeah, so you actually find like a little cave spot, and it's a nice little spring here, and yeah, y'all can take your time throughout the day. The only sounds you hear other than nature sounds is occasionally the sounds of a domesticated animal mooing from inside of the first floor of the tower.
All right, so we're rested up and packing everything up, and I guess I'll look over to Shadow and be like, so now that we're out of the fight, tell me about this deal you made with the Archfey.
Who?
You.
I don't know.
You don't know. Where'd these powers come from?
The Archfey.
What'd you have to give up for it?
I didn't have to give anything up.
Okay. Keep your secrets then.
You know as much as I do at this point. She's a stalker. I don't know what else to tell you. She's been following me my whole life. I don't know what she wants.
Well, whatever she wants, I like the power she gave you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely like that.
So what do we do now? I mean, what do y'all head back to Billiard Talk? What do y'all think?
Yeah?
We got to stop and get our horses. I know Body Knock's missing old Jeffrey, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been.
We could go over the mountain and see if old Grilda's home.
Grilda? Who's that?
Oh, just a giant lass I knew from back in the day.
Oh my, are they going to be friendly to us?
I don't know. Never can tell about giants. Or we can go back through the tunnels. It's up to you.
I say we go back through the tunnels. Let's get back to Billiard Talk and see old Bushi. get our mounts. Let's just make it back safely after all this. I think I need a little R&R.
Alrighty.
A little time to unwind. I got some beer drinking to do.
Oh yeah, gotta get those sausages. Alright, so you guys are gonna head back into the caves. The Copperstone mines, as it were.
Through the mountain.
Yeah.
As you guys head back in there,
Find out what our next quest be.
the room that you enter into is the one where
Sausage
y'all
eating,
first
perhaps?
assembled all of your kobold buddies, right? So you go in there and you don't actually see much presence of your kobold buddies. It appears that they have cleared out the camp. There's, some debris and stuff, but this camp seems to be pretty much totally cleared out. And actually, as you enter, they had, built that ramshackle wall, and they've actually torn that wall down a little bit. And there's a large, 5-foot passageway through the middle where it's pretty easy to walk through the center of that as you guys are walking in. And if you recall, from this room, there is a passageway to the south, past the wall that led to the base, or not the base, but the village, the kobold's village. And then there was a passageway to the north that leads out to some hallways. So,
What do we do? I don't know.
What's the quickest way through this thing?
We don't remember.
yeah, why don't y'all go ahead and make me a survival check.
Body Knock has apparently smoked a little bit of the halfling sleeve since we last left.
I got a 5.
I got a nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, 25. So you walk in and you're just like got this place entirely mapped out. You recall that to the right, which would be south, goes to the Kobold Village. If you go to the north, you'll come to it's a straight line through, and then you come to the room that the Kobold warns you to take a very specific path to avoid the stalagmites. He said some of the stalagmites were alive, quote unquote, and that they would get you. And I'm going to say with a 25 on your survival check that if you guys want to go that way, you will remember the path through.
So the black pudding won't get me?
Yeah, so you remember the black pudding was way on the other side of the it was on the way to the mines.
Yeah, but I don't know what these stalactites that are going to be alive are going to be doing. Sounds like more black pudding to me.
It's something, but you take the weird circuitous route, follow and track the path that the kobolds have walked through there, and you make it through there no problem. And then you go through the series of small, semi-large caverns where all the kobolds' traps were, but they've all since been deactivated.
We're not going through the Kobold Village that we helped clean up.
Not if you want the fastest route. That was a little bit off.
Okay, that's fine.
And then you guys make it back to the first room where you had the scuffle.
Yeah.
So if you guys want, you could turn south to go past the big door and go towards where the Kreetok village is. Or if you'd like, then the exit is just to your east, and you can go on out if you would like.
Let's hit the exit and check on. I feel like we're anxious to see our mounts.
Okay. So go ahead and pull you guys here. So yeah, you walk out the exit, and sure enough, you take a little look around, and you see all your mounts, and they've got, their saddles and stirrups and everything are where you had left them. They seem no worse for wear. In fact, they've got it looks like there's been some hay put out for the horses, and there's been some sausages or remnants of other foods. There's like a little bowl that Jeffrey Slobber has started to eat away and etch the inside of the bowl and tear it up.
I'm gonna go up to Jeffrey and pat him on the side. I'll hop up on Revenge.
Shadow comes out and sees Starlight crackling around the nostrils with anxiety, but quickly calms her down enough to go ahead and start saddling her up.
Okay, yeah, so you guys start to saddle up
Boy.
your horses.
Ride
And-
into the city.
Oh my god, so many songs, too many generations.
As you guys are getting your guys all saddled up, Shadow, you feel a pinch, and in between your breastplate and where your leg armor starts, just this little pinch in your
My hip?
waist. Yeah. And you look down and you see a short little, maybe 2-inch stem sticking out of you with some little small feathers coming off of the back end. You pull it out and hold it up, and you see that there's a 1-inch needle sticking off of the end of this little dart that
I've been
just hit
fucking
you.
assassinated.
You look down and you see just a little trickle of blood come out as you take 1 piercing damage. And then your heart boom, boom, pumps this really heavy thud. And you know in movies when they like shift the color to negative? That's what I imagine of Shadow's face. Just the whole thing shifting to negative as you hear this loud boom, heartbeat. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
19.
So after that moment, you kind of wheel for a second, and you feel coursing through your veins an intense amount of painful poison, but you fight off the worst of it, but you still end up taking 21 points of damage.
Fuck! Shadow, you okay?
I don't know, boys.
And I need you guys to roll initiative.
Holy shit. 9. 21 points of damage with the save.
I'm rolling initiative with inspiration.
Okay.
19.
7.
As that's happening, so as we go through the surprise round, that would have been that first attack. So now it is Shadow, it's your turn, but you still don't know where that dart came from.
Am I on Starlight?
No, you were getting them ready. You were putting the saddles and stuff on them. You had just cinched up the saddle on them.
Does it take an action to mount Starlight?
No, it's just part of your movement. I think it takes like something ridiculously low, like 10 feet of movement or 5 feet
Okay,
of
so
movement.
Shadow hops on Starlight, and Starlight activates double team,
Okay, all right.
causing
all right.
disadvantage.
Here, let me morph you into your mounted form.
Ooh la la. I am already on Revenge because I had said it before. Just FYI.
Okay.
Okay, so I still haven't seen my attacker.
Right. So if mechanically you can use since their stealth check passed your passive perception, you don't know where they are, but you can use an action to make a perception check and try to beat their stealth that way, and maybe roll higher and figure out where they're at.
Okay, I'm gonna roll perception.
Okay. But it will take your action.
Yeah, 17.
17. Okay. That is actually high enough that you look over and you see a face sticking out from behind a rock over here. Can you guys see this person here?
Mm-hmm.
I can see the.
You can see the mark, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over here.
Okay.
Okay. So that was your action. What's his name? Used his action to activate double team.
Yep. So I'm gonna race over here.
All right. So you're gonna rush towards this unknown assailant.
Yep.
I wonder if I'm going to yell out to him and be like, I wonder if this is the one that we thought somebody was watching us when we were last in this area, remember?
Yep.
Inside the cave, right inside the mouth.
She's over here, guys.
Okay. So, it is her turn next, and she pulls out 2 daggers. One of them looks like a freaking like vibro blade from Star Wars. It's just shimmering and humming with energy. She runs up to you, and she's going to try to take 2 stab attacks at you.
Okay, well, I'm going to react when she gets that close.
Yeah, absolutely.
With my glaive. 17.
17 is a hit.
Hit. All right.
That was scary how long you had to think about that. I like how your glaive is like a lance on your sword, on your horse.
Oh, yeah. 10 damage.
Okay, alright, so she runs in, and you slap her with 10 damage. The first one's definitely going to be missed, but the second one is a 17 to hit?
On what?
Against Shadow. She's trying to stab Shadow.
Okay. That hits.
That hits, okay. So you are going to take...
No, that was roll with advantage, correct?
No, I did not roll that with disadvantage. Let me check. Okay, it's higher the second time.
Okay.
Oh my!
Alright, so that'll be 5 damage as she hits with 1, but the other one is a miss.
Okay.
And then that is the end of her turn.
Is that name on screen accurate? Eliana Monlier?
It is. For your notes.
For my notes.
For your notes. Talik, it is your turn. Body, you're on deck.
I'm gonna actually hop off of the horse.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop off, run up to her. I'm gonna use my charger.
Okay, yeah. So you sprint up to her.
Yep. So charger ability gives me an additional +5 to my damage if I move at least 10 feet in a straight line.
Let's see if you hit.
So I'm gonna try and hit her with the big bone.
Ooh, big bone.
24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 13 +5, so 18 damage.
Woof.
And then I want to try and talk to her and be like, "Who the hell are you? What the hell? Who are you? What is this?"
She'll just sneer back at you and be like, "You'll be dead soon enough. It won't matter."
Yeah, I've heard that one before. And then I swing again.
Then I swing again.
24 to hit.
Wait, hold on. Did you have to sprint up to get to her and use your bonus action?
I don't think
For your
so,
charger?
I moved like 30, right at 30 feet.
Yeah, but I think to get the extra damage from the charger,
No,
you
it
have.
just says if you move 10 feet in a straight line, you get it.
But it says if you use the bonus action to attack with the charger feat, right?
Let me see. I'm not sure. When you use the dash action, you can use a bonus action to make a melee. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just stick with the 1 hit.
Okay.
I have to use the dash action to get the...
Right.
Because I have to use it as a bonus action. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I go with the 1 hit. All right. I'll end my turn.
Not that it was a bad hit by any means, so.
No. 18.
All right. Body knock. What you got?
All right, I'm going to just knock an arrow into Chameleon. I don't give a shit about her size, and let one loose.
So with Chameleon, do you get a bonus if you use like the like fire damage or whatever, or it just makes it that type?
No, it's an extra die of that type.
And how often can you do that? Anytime?
Rune can be used once per day.
Yeah, do you remember that part, Bills?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now because he wrote
Okay.
it on there.
I'd forgotten about that part.
Do we know anything about her besides being a dick? Can we see anything distinctive that might give us away, like what he may
Yeah,
be?
what does she look like?
Yeah, so she is here. I'll drop the art in for you guys. So she is a full elf, female, and she is wearing a like fantasy scale mail. We'll call it that. It's not a very protective in the artwork, but it's basically
She's
scale
sexy.
armor, and she has got one of those headpieces, and it has a motif of a full moon on the front of it.
Okay.
She appears to be she has very pale skin, almost
Kinda
like a
moon
light
elf.
purple. So the art is very accurate to what she looks like in game.
Well, I don't want to kill her now.
Man, okay. I was trying to think of if I could target a weakness, if I could figure anything out there. You know what? I'm just gonna trend after my boy Jeffrey. I'm gonna activate the acid rune,
Okay, all right.
Ooh.
and I rolled a 22 on the hit, by the way.
Okay, that's definitely a hit.
So excited to see Jeffrey that you've meshed up with him.
You just start oozing for him.
Okay, so what's the what's her size? She's bigger than me,
she's
right?
medium. She's
Okay.
medium, so she's one size larger than you.
And so, what does the acid damage do, and how's that calculated?
It should be whatever die you rolled for that. Just
Yeah.
roll another one, and that's how much more acid damage you do.
Damn,
So it
that
also
sucks.
scales.
8 plus 5 is 13.
Okay, hot diggity damnity. All right, and Shadow, it is back up to you. At top.
This is your last
the
chance, She-Elf. Back down. This is a fight you cannot win. Your element of surprise is gone. And I'm going to roll for intimidation. 7.
She just like wipes the blood off her face, and breaks the arrow off, and sneers at you.
How do I do this?
What is it? What spell is it?
Scorching Ray.
So that makes 3 separate attacks, one for each ray, right?
Yeah. 17, 14, and 7.
That is one hit.
Okay, so it'll be 9 damage.
Okay. You got anything else?
No.
Okay. So she is going to reach down to her waist and pop the top off of a potion and suck it down real quick, and she disappears
I know it.
from view. And then a moment later, Talik, that is a 22, so that hits.
Holy shit.
You receive a dart right in your neck. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh god. 9.
Oh no. And even after this attack, you notice a distinct lack of her appearing. That's 25 damage, and you took all of it.
She's a badass.
Oh, and you are poisoned for 1 minute. You can repeat the save at the end of every turn to end the effect early, but you are
I have
poisoned.
disadvantage on attack and ability checks.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, considering I can't see her, the only thing I know how to do is I'm going to try and do a perception check. I guess I have disadvantage.
Yeah, so basically, you can only hear her, and so if you succeed on your perception check, you will know what square she is in, but you will still have disadvantage on attack rolls against her, because that's just part of being invisible.
Because she's still invisible. Okay.
Right.
4.
4. Okay. So you are...
Son of a bitch.
You're like, oh, she's over there, and then you do
Literally
that little...
spinning in circles.
Yeah, then you do that heart thing, and your face goes all negative, and you're like, shit,
Yeah.
never mind, I don't know where the fuck she is.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I'll end my turn. Actually, I'm going to move a little bit. I'm going to move away from Shadow. I'll move like right here.
Okay, alright.
Then I'll end my turn.
Body knock. What's your play?
So, like, I can't see her either, I'm assuming.
Yeah, as far as you know, she is invisible somewhere.
Well, fuck. You know what? I'm gonna be too. I'm gonna hide.
Okay, you're gonna try to hide from her. Tell me like what you're trying to hide behind, because you don't even know which direction she is. For all you know, she's standing right next to you.
That's true. Fuck.
That's true. Fuck.
Fuck, that's true. Fuck.
I'm gonna no. Fuck.
He's scared. He's scared.
For good reason.
I'm gonna climb. Nope.
Don't go up
Climb
there
up
with
the
her.
mountain a little bit.
You know what? I'll just go up here, and be very observant. And it's
Okay, make a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll 22.
A 22. Okay. You look over at where she had
Attaboy.
been standing next to Shadow, and it's kind of muddy around here, and you see muddy footprints leading right over to this spot right here, and the footprints seem to be stopped right there.
I'm gonna fire an arrow at that.
Okay.
General human
It will be a
size.
disadvantage because
Okay.
she is invisible.
9.
So you see your arrow just straight through empty air.
Okay. Balls.
This bitch is scary.
Yeah.
Shadow, what's your plan?
So I saw him shoot the arrow at that spot, right?
No, which is communication. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he can call out and tell you where he believes she's at. I'm fine with rolling that over.
Okay, so Shadow's gonna whip Starlight around and rush over to right here. As he gets there, oh wait, is Starlight impacted by area of effect things that I do while I'm riding her?
Oh
Hmm.
shit. Yeah, like if you have something explode out from you, I don't see how they wouldn't be.
All creatures within 10 feet of you.
Yeah. You want to hop off of them?
No.
Well, you've got the blur, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Adds another element.
I guess I'll just do a big sweeping motion with my glaive right at the spot. Body knock shot. I don't really know.
All right. Make me an attack with disadvantage.
22.
I was gonna say, did you just a 22? Yeah, that hits. Your glaive connects as you swing through.
Okay, so this will be a 10 and an 8.
Yeah, Colossus Slayer.
So 12 damage.
Okay, and so you hear a cry. It's just like ah as you sling blood out from the invisibleness. She still doesn't appear though.
And I just swing right back into the exact same spot instantaneously.
Another disadvantage.
18.
Damn.
18 hits.
Nice rolls.
Hell yeah. I cannot see those. Okay, I'm re-rolling the 8. So I've got a 6. Re-rolling the 8. Oh yeah, let's go. So it's gonna be 17 damage.
Okay, so Shadow just runs up on his horse and shoof, shoof, blood goes flying out one way, blood goes flying out the other way, and collapses to the ground and reappears. This elven
She's
woman
dead.
before you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she is. She's dead. Or
I'm
she's
gonna run
down.
over to her and look at her body and try and figure out who the hell she is and where she came from.
Nice save.
Okay, she's just
Holy shit.
just gargling on her own blood as you run over to her. She coughs out. She's like, "You'll pay for what you did to us." And she takes her last breath.
I rolled an investigation, but it was a 4.
Okay. Yeah, so you paddle along. I mean, I'll tell you the things that you see right off the gate. You find another couple of potions, or at least potion bottles that feel like they have something in them, but are perfectly clear. And you've seen a couple potions like this before. You believe that there are a couple more potions of invisibility. You're not sure if they're as badass as the ones that she was drinking. Obviously, she's got her 2 daggers. One of them looks incredibly epic. Has a vibratory effect to it. She's got a blow dart on her that has there's 3 more darts in a little bandolier from that blow dart. And then the last thing you find, none of this is like hidden on her person. You're just rummaging through her wares. You find a little bit of gold. You find 18 gold and 35 silver. And then the last thing you find is a speak scroll.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's has no adornment on it whatsoever. It's just a perfectly plain speak scroll. It doesn't have a guild symbol on it, from what you can tell.
I'm gonna kind of hold that up and yell over to Body Knock and be like, "You ever seen anything like this? Don't you have one of these?"
Yeah, I've got one. We all have one, don't we, from the guild?
There's just one per party.
Yeah. Well, okay, then I have 2. Yes.
Yeah, you have 2 actually, because you have one from your
from an Italian friend.
From your Italian friend.
Fantasy Italian.
What?
I just listened to that.
From his Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Donatello Muccinelli.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna for sure grab the blow dart, the blow gun, and the 3 darts, and be like, "Body Knock, you're gonna want this."
Yeah, I was thinking I kind of needed that thing.
I'm gonna toss that over to Body Knock, and that thing did some fucking damage.
So blow dart gun or blow gun or whatever it's called is just a weapon. There's nothing special about the weapon, but I'll let you make you can make a nature or survival check on what kind of poison she was hitting you with.
19.
So you're intimately familiar with this poison, because even though you didn't get hit by it by
Leech told me about
these
it.
darts, no, you got hit by it on the mountainside by the real deal, because it is wyvern poison.
There you go.
Yeah, so there's 3 more darts with wyvern poison on them.
How many potions of invisibility did we find?
2.
You found 2 potions of regular invisibility.
You guys should take those because I can stealth out really easily.
Okay.
Okay.
We each take one of those. Who's good with the dagger? I don't know that I necessarily need a dagger.
Well, it's whoever gets it becomes the ruler of Mandalore, so we got to pick carefully.
Dagger feels like either one of y'all to me.
Somebody make me an Arcana check on what the dagger is.
Shadow's over here. Let him do one too.
Mine spun so many times, but it landed on an 8. I'm already carrying a dagger.
I have one too, I'm pretty sure, but I rolled a 19, so I'll find out what it is.
Yeah, so
Time for
this
Talik to get a dagger.
is a blink dagger. So once per day, you may throw the dagger and use your bonus action to teleport to the dagger's location and grab hold of it on the same turn it is thrown. Also, if you use the thrown property of the dagger to make an attack, it magically teleports back to your hands immediately after impact.
Jeez.
That's pretty cool. That feels like a Body Knock item.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Awesome.
The teleportation. Don't you just have a basic dagger?
I have a lot of weapons. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think you have a special.
No, I have
weapon.
I have a short sword.
Oh yeah, that's a short sword. Yeah, take the wing dagger.
Yep.
That's very cool. So you can throw it and appear wherever you throw it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do that once per day, but you can also just use it as a thrown weapon like any other dagger.
Yeah.
And after it hits the target, it teleports back to your hand.
So you could just use it over and over instead of
Instead of throwing
one.
it and then not
Yeah.
having it. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, y'all come check this chick out and see if you can find any clues on her. I investigated her and I couldn't find shit.
So what am I rolling?
You can roll investigation on her.
9.
Yeah, so you don't find anything additional to what Mr. Tolick found.
Body knock.
What'd you get by 25? Yeah, so you're looking over her person, Body Knock, and you find rolled up really tightly in one of her gauntlets is a little tube, and inside of it has rolled up pieces of parchment. There's only one piece with writing on it. The other ones appear not to have any writing. I'll just go ahead and tell you with your earlier Arcana rolls and that roll that you know that these are speak scrolls to go in a speak scroll case. There's 2 left, and one of them actually is already filled out and has writing on it, and says it's pre-written out. The job is done. They are dead.
Oh my.
She was a little overconfident, wasn't she?
Let's go ahead and send that one. Hey,
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's a good idea.
Let's do.
Okay, so you slide it into the speak scroll, put the lid on, twist it, and you hear like a puff of fire and energy in your hands in the speak scroll, and open it up, look inside. Sure enough, it's gone.
for listeners
And-
at home, this is like the tube at the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Fantasy email.
not even a minute later, you hear a inside of that speak scroll again.
Oh shit. Open it.
Yep, let's open it up.
So you open it up, and there, sure enough, there's a speak scroll inside, and it says, "Good work, Eliana. Meet at the rendezvous point." And then after you read it, it burns up and flies away into the air.
All right, let's write one up that said, I took quite a blow in the fight. I can't quite remember where that was.
Yeah, I was just about to say something like that.
All right, so what do y'all put? You want to
Basically,
send another
like,
one?
I took quite a blow to the head during the fight. I cannot recall where is our rendezvous point.
Yes, send it. I love it.
So you put that in and send it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right. And a minute or 2 goes by. You still haven't heard anything. You guys start kind of move her body to the side, go back, start tending your horses again. Another 30 minutes or so goes by.
Damn.
And after about 45 minutes, you hear a in the item again.
All right, open it up.
So you open it up,
And it's a hand grenade. Hit.
and no, there's another piece in there, and it is written down a bunch of letters and runes. What languages do you speak, Body Knock?
I got elf covered.
I only speak thieves' cant and half, or like common and shit. Normal stuff.
Okay, you speak Elf. What languages do you speak, Talik?
I speak Common and Draconic and Orcish.
And I also speak Dwarvish and Giant.
Okay, so you're looking over their shoulder, Shadow, and you're like, "Oh shit, those are Dwarven runes." Let me read that real quick. You grab it and read across it. It's not directly written in like letters, but it's the runic word, like the symbol word for port, and then it has the symbol word for a boar.
Boar.
Bay of pigs.
Yeah. Checks out.
A little Cold War humor for you elderly listeners out there.
I think that is. Oh my. Where is it?
What's it say, Shadow?
Oh, port and boar. That may be over by Fev. But it also could be Overport. I'm not sure right now. I bet you old Bushi will know.
All right. Let's get back to the confluence. It seems that somebody wants us dead.
Are you still poisoned?
For a minute. So it faded off at some point. Probably made a save before the full minute had gone by.
Starlight's finally stopped vibrating, so Shadow can see normal again. All right.
Okay.
I hop
All
up
right.
on the bench.
Off to Billy Talk we go.
Okay. So yeah, it's I believe it's a 2-day journey normally, but y'all are in the mountains, and so it's Shadow's favorite terrain. So that takes it down to a 1-day trip for you guys to get back. Y'all had rested the night before, so it was probably by the time you got through the caves, it was mid-morning the next day. By the time you finished this fight, yeah, y'all can get there by like a little after dark, around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Yeah, so 8 p.m. on the 11th, you guys roll back into town. Y'all want to go straight up to the guild hall, I assume?
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys roll up into the guild hall, and sure enough, this late at night, Mr. Bushi is not manning his post. You're assuming he's in the hall with the rest of the folks.
Yeah. I head back to the hall.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, so yeah, you guys head back to the mead hall in the guild hall and walk in, and sure enough, these guys are having a glorious old time. They're eating and drinking. It's a little bit more somber than the last time you were here. There's a little bit more heaviness in the air, but they seem to be doing all right. The first table on your left seems particularly energetic. There's some new faces here that you guys don't necessarily recognize. There's a dwarf and a full orc male, as well as a half orc female. The last one is a full elf male, but he's got a hood pulled up over his head. He's not saying much. The other guys are being quite raucous.
I'm gonna head back to
Shadow
Bushi.
beelines to Bushi.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, so he's chatting with old Eva as you guys walk up, and he turns around and he says, "Oh, welcome back, friends. I've been worried about you. I'm glad to
Bushi,
see you're all in one piece."
You get shorter every time I see you.
It must be the age. They say you shrink when you get older. Or maybe it's all the ale weighing me down. And he dumps the last of his flagon in his throat.
Bushi, you are a sight for sore eyes. Toss me one of those pints.
Absolutely. Eva pours you one. He hands it over.
Oh, Bushi, is your brain too soaked by ale to answer a simple question?
Oh, never such. What can I help you with?
What port near here, or better yet, near the Copperstone Mountains, would be associated with a boar?
A port associated with a boar? That's a odd question. I can't say that any of the ports are associated with a boar directly. There's a couple ports nearby. Obviously, there's Oberport to the south that we do most of our shipments out of, and then if you head way up north, you could get to Fev, the capital of that region, but
What about a brewery with a boar?
brew with a boar. Let me think for a moment. You know, I seem to remember, now that you mentioned beer, there's a tavern in Oberport called the Drunken Boar. Isn't that right, Eva? And she nods. She's like, yeah. It's been there for a while. Real seedy place, though. Not a place you'd want to go. There's a real nice place across the street called the Golden Goose. That's what you want to get.
Overport, you say? Very interesting. Shadow gets him a beer and goes to a corner and sits down and sips it contemplatively.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of wander over by these orc people with my pint.
Alright, so you kind of waddle up to those guys, and the dwarf greets you. He says, you must be new here. Name's Hopper Firehammer. I don't believe we've been introduced.
Nice to meet you, Hopper. Solid grug. I'll stick my hand out, shake his hand.
He gives you a hearty, firm handshake as he's looking up to you, chest puffed out. He says, this is the rest of my crew. Evelor, he doesn't say much as he gestures to the elf. This is Mog. He gestures to the full orc male, kind of grunts and gives you a nod. And this is his sister, Egot. And she says, hi, nice to meet you. Mog looks at you for a moment. He cocks his head to the side. Says, hey, you look familiar. I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Maxim, I was part of the Grug clan that was killed a couple of years ago. You ever heard of him?
He says, the Grug clan? No, that doesn't sound familiar to me at all. Can't say I have ever heard of him. I used to spend a little time in Maxim, but I've been out of there for a long, long time. Can't say I've ever heard of them at all. Why don't you make me a insight check?
There we go, 18.
You get the feeling that he's a little bit uneasy. Just at the mention of Maxim a little bit, but definitely at the mention of Grug.
I kind of walk up to him, get real close to him, and be like, you sure about that? And I want to roll intimidation. I got a 21.
He kind of takes a step back. He's like, hey man, we're all friends here. We don't need to be getting aggressive. I said I didn't know nothing about it. It's just it's been a long time is all. It's not the best of memories of that place.
I'll go back over to the dwarf and be like, where did you say you guys were from again?
Oh, myself? I'm an old Fev local. Been here for a long time though. About 5 years. Or our orc buddies here, been here a couple years. Evelor over there, he's been here as long as anybody can remember.
We haven't seen you in the last month or so that we've been around. Where have y'all been?
Oh man, we've been way out of town. We've been all the way down to
Rickon?
No, farther south than that. We've been across the sea in Savalana. Been out on mission for a long time now. Which is like, that's on the continent across the sea and south from you guys. It'd be weeks of travel.
What kind of work you guys been doing? Bounty hunting?
There's a tribe there. There was dealing with some real nasty stuff. It was an entire hive of manticore. Had to systematically take them out one by one.
Interesting. I'm just kind of walking around looking at them, being a little skeptical hippo face.
Skeptical hippo face. Ega says, so you said you're from Maxim, right?
Yeah, I was at one point, before everyone that I knew and loved was killed.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I used to live there too, but me and Mog did. It was a rough place. I remember having lots of challenges, especially for people like us. But the Confluence seems to be a lot more accepting. We've really enjoyed our time here. If there's anything that we can do to help you, let me know.
I've never met another half orc. What's your story? Who are your parents?
Well, me and Mog share a dad, but I never really knew my mom. It was a strange situation. Well, not strange situation. I guess a little all too common for Megzim. My mom was one of the servants or slaves, I guess, of our tribe, and I was born to her. And since I belonged to Dad, then I belonged to him too.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you, and nice to meet you. What was the orc's name again? What was your name again, orc?
Mog Broguk. And when he says Broguk, a shiver runs all the way down your spine, because you recognize that last name as being seared into your memory as the same last name or the tribe name of the tribe that you were battling when your mother and chieftain fell.
So as soon as that happens, I kind of have a chill, and a kind of a cold sweat comes over me, and I have a little bit of moment of fear, but as Talik would do with my fight or flight response, I'm gonna bull rush him and kind of grab him.
He says, whoa, what's the matter? What's it?
You son of a bitch. And I've got my hand like on the back of his neck, and I'm like really close to him. I'm like, what did you say your last name was?
At this point, he kind of gets pissed off, and he goes to shove you off of him, says, get the hell off of me. Oh, Jesus. He rolls a 7. Can you make me a contested athletics check?
Yeah. 13.
Okay. So you keep a hold of him. He tries to shove you off. He says, what the hell, man? Back off. And at this point, kind of the people start turning and looking over at what's going on with you guys. He says, I didn't say nothing. I just introduced myself. Told you I could, help you out. I'm trying to be a friend to you. What the hell's got you all nickered?
I pulled my great sword out. The long sword of Pallid Light, and I've got it like up to his throat now. And I'm like, I'm just in a full wreck. You son of a bitch.
Shadow had walked up behind Talik while all this was happening. As soon as Talik whips his sword around, Shadow's dagger pops up and guards the blade from going too far towards the other orc's throat.
As you put the blade up to his throat, it begins to pull closer and closer to his throat, like it is working its way into his throat, and it starts to cut in just a little bit, and you can see rot spreading out from where it's starting to cut in. And just as this is happening, you hear a deafening, booming echo from the doorways behind you, and it's just like a flashbang goes off in this place. Just actually, everybody make me a con save.
Oh, 6.
11.
I rolled an 11 as well.
Okay, so you all fail, and you have to instantly cover your ears as this booming, thundering sound occurs behind you, and you all turn to look and see where the sound came from. And standing in the door is this little white-haired gnome, and he's tiny. However, as he's standing there, he immediately begins to grow into this absolutely huge version of himself.
Whoa.
And he says, we will have no fighting here. amongst members of the Confluence Guild Hall, and it's just like booming, just like thundering down into your head, and it's everything you can do just to survive this voice. And then he shrinks back down to his normal size, and then he says, "Now, if we could all be kind to one another." And he spreads his hands out, and you almost see like this mist, this purple glittery mist spread out from his hands and pass across the entire room. I need you all to make a will save.
What is it? What is he doing? Is he charming?
Yes, this would be a charm effect. Yeah.
So I'm immune.
Okay.
What's the save? I don't have one called up.
Sorry, wisdom save.
Wisdom? Okay.
Sorry, Pathfinder reference.
17.
17. Hold on a second.
18 here.
Okay, so you guys both save. So you feel a aura trying to calm you down, being pushed out throughout the room, but you're able to remain pissed off if you want to. And he notices that you're still upset and starts to step forward. He says, "Please, son, lower your weapon."
I'm gonna kind of look at Shadow, who's caught my blade, and then look back at this guy and look at everybody in the whole room, like kind of snap out of it a little
everybody's
bit.
just staring at you as you look across the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of snap out of it a little bit and lower the longsword and actually slowly sheath it away. And
Okay.
then kind of stand back up away from this guy, just kind of take a step back and kind of just stand there like out of breath.
He says, "May I speak with you? The two of you?" And then he looks over, he says, "You come too," and points at Body Knock and starts to walk this way. Y'all are going to the principal's office.
That's a paddling.
Oh my. Don't threaten me with a good time. So he starts to go up the stairs over here, and he opens up this door, and you walk in to what is essentially a war room. It's got a large table of the surrounding areas laid out, and then it's got chairs all around the room, kind of pushed up back into the corners. There's the smell of old pipe tobacco and, a couple ashtrays sitting around as you walk in here. He says, "Please close the door behind you, if you will." After the door is closed, he says, "Well, first off, I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Tormund Greybeard. I'm the guild headmaster here. Fortunately, I've not been able to introduce myself since y'all joined. But Bushi tells me great things about you, says that y'all have really been mopping up quite a few bounties, even helping out Frindor Debilia personally on some special assignments. I had heard you had arrived and was hoping to get to talk with you, but I must say I'm concerned about the scene that I just saw."
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Tormund, but I think you need to hear the reasons before you have too much concern.
Indeed, I would very much like to hear that.
Alec, tell the man.
You let this murderous orc piece of shit into this guild and expect me to idly stand by? The man who helped murder my entire family, everyone that I know?
He takes a breath and turns his head down. He says, "Mog, is that who you're referring to?
Yes.
He killed your family."
That worm couldn't kill anyone, but whoever was in his tribe did.
You would condemn a man for the actions of his tribe without knowing whether or not he was involved. You see, he is not in Megzim now. He is not with the Brogux now, is he? He is here, at the confluence, helping us, helping those in need. I know not what history you and Broguk have, and I'm very sorry to hear about your past with their tribe. But at the confluence, we leave our past behind. The river we have taken makes up a part of who we are, but we join together as a new river, moving forward with a common purpose. That said, you and Mog can address your differences once you've both cooled off. In the meantime, I'd very much like to hear about what happened on your last assignment.
Well, boss man, I don't know if you'd call it an assignment per se. I don't even know if anybody's paying us for what we just did. But, to say the least, it is a tale worth telling. And then Shadow goes on a rambling.
Kind of recounts the whole thing, all the mine stuff and crap you did there, and then the tower stuff. Tell him all about the Sphere of Evolution, kind of catch him up on all that stuff. He kind of nods along. He's like, yes, I've been briefed on some of this by Bushi, some of the information, but there's a lot more to it. He says, this is quite troubling indeed. And do we know where this Zaius is?
Not yet.
He smirks a little bit. He's like, I like your style.
While they talk, I reached into the bag of holding and I pulled out the decanter of endless wine, and I'm sitting in this corner over here, and I'm drinking wine out of this thing.
Ormond, we have been traveling for many days and have had many battles, the last not which was with a poison arrow assassin freak. If it's okay with you, I think we'd like to speak with you in the morning after we've had a solid night's rest, and Talik over there can finish his endless wine.
He kind of takes a look at you guys and realizes how beat up you are. He's like, you're right. Yes, of course. My apologies. Welcome home, as it were.
Shadow kind of side eyes over to Body Knock to make sure Body Knock hasn't pulled any of the jewel-looking things off the war table.
No, I'm just eating sausages.
Yeah, I just imagine, like, before he got called up, he was already trying to put a bunch of sausages on a plate. He just scraped a whole bunch more on a plate. Just been chowing down.
I've even got pocket sausage.
Pocket sausage! So yeah, he snaps his fingers and waves his hands towards the door, and the door's open. He says, "Y'all have a good evening. I'm glad you made it back safe. We'll catch up more in the morning."
Yep, I head off to the room that I stayed in last.
Okay, yeah. So you guys go in. I mean, it's you guys' room as long as you're here, from what you know. And so yeah, you go in, kind of make yourselves cozy at home.
Shadow goes and makes sure Talik went in his room, and then he goes and clicks the long rest button.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all are just going to bed on the, 11th? In the guild hall.
All right. My phone's about to die, and I gotta let my dogs out, so I'm gonna back out quick.
Okay.
Later.
Later.
Bye.
To be continued on the next episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Dummies. Find out what happens to our party next week.